Well, hello there. Hmm. Let's talk about something, right, that matters more than people even realize, especially when it comes to self-command. And that's the dopamine drift, right? Not dopamine in the clickbait kind of sense, and not the how to hack your brain sense. I'm talking about the real life sense because a lot of people aren't struggling with discipline as much as they think, right? They're struggling with the nervous system, or should I say a nervous system, and reward system, right? That have gotten used to this constant input, constant checking, constant stimulation, and just these little constant hits. And when that becomes normal, right, our brain gets less comfortable with stillness, gets real less comfortable with boredom. It gets less comfortable with delayed payoffs. And honestly, it gets real uncomfortable with not immediately getting relief, stimulation, or some form of perceived reward. And so that matters. It matters a lot. And it matters for reasons like, well, let's just say this, right? Like if your system is constantly scanning, like for that next hit, right? It's constantly scanning for the next snack, the better scroll, the next text message, the next little lift, right? The next thing to check on or solve, and even that next thing to anticipate, then our internal leadership gets harder. Not impossible, but it gets harder. And I know a lot of women, especially women over 40, right? We're not used to dealing with stimulation. Or I'm sorry, we're used to it, but we're not just dealing with the stimulation, right? We're dealing with an accumulated load of stress, right? There's all the decisions and the hormonal shifts and sleep disruption and the mental tabs that never close, that emotional labor that doesn't get counted, right? And the responsibility that just never shuts off. So when we talk about dopamine balance, right? We're not talking about we're not talking about becoming boring and restrictive. We're talking about noticing, right? Noticing whether your system has gotten too used to being pulled all over the place. So that pull, right, can look like difficulty settling into just one task, right? Think about it. What's going on for you while you're listening to this, right? Like difficulty settling into just one task, grabbing your phone without even thinking about it, snacking when you're not actually hungry, feeling like you need something just to keep going, restlessness when things are quiet, right? Losing focus super fast when things are slow, right? Or feel boring. And needing urgency to feel engaged. I talk to so many people. It's like, oh, if my calendar is not full, I don't know what to do, right? And this is all data, right? Like this is the information that we need. It's useful because your brain learns patterns. And when life starts to feel like one big long chain of reward seeking, interruption, and stimulations, right? Focus starts to feel harder and harder for you to access. So, where does nutrition come in? Right? Where does it come in? First, it comes in first, right? Regular fueling matters. A brain that is underfed, over caffeinated, under proteined, or running on blood sugar alone, right? Those blood sugar swings is more often more vulnerable to seeking quick reward, right? So here's second, right? Protein matters, especially earlier in the day. And not because protein is some magic thing, right? A protein alone is not magic, but it does support steadier energy, better better satiety, right? Like, sorry about that. And more stable foundation for focus and follow through. Okay, so protein earlier in the day. And then we got to talk about it, right? Like overstimulation, right? Like, this is the third thing I want you to hear. Overstimulation, it matters. If your mornings begin with caffeine, no food, stress, phone input, and immediate response mode, raise your hand, right? Like, your system is often getting trained into reactivity before your day even begins. Okay. So number 4, pleasure and reward are not the enemy. I love this. I want you to own it. Right. I've been having lots of conversations on this over the course of the last month or so, right? Like, pleasure and reward are not the enemy, but unconscious reward loops can quietly own you if you never spend time examining them. Okay. So your work this week is really simple. You need to notice where your system seems trained to reach. Okay. Not just emotionally, physiologically. Where is it that you seek a hit of dopamine, right? Like, where am I looking for a hit? Where am I losing steadiness? Where am I reaching for stimulation when what I really need might be food, water, movement, rest, or even a reset? Okay, so this is not about judgment, guys. Don't judge yourself. It's just so that you can have awareness. Because the same way that emotional outsourcing weakens our ability to stay in our personal leadership, physiological overpulling can weaken it also. And when you start noticing that, you get options. Right? Sometimes what feels like lack of discipline is really just a system that has gotten too used to being pulled all over the place. Yesterday's live session was all about your internal leadership audit, right? And this is part of that audit also, right? Where is your body and your brain quietly training you away from steadiness? Be watching that, right? Observe for it.